This was the rumor. They came to Michael. They really needed Michael to play. Mm-hmm. They came to Michael, and like David Stern and the Olympic team, they came to Michael and said, "Yo, Mike, we really need you to play. We need for you to just go global." And Mike said, "All right, I will play only if Isiah is not on the team."
Damn. So he really said that?
He said that to them.
Damn.
And Matt, and then Matt was like, "I'm cool with that."
A lot of people believe that Isiah Thomas was one of the best 11 NBA players. A lot of people believe, Charles, he was better than John Stockton.
I think he was a better player than John Stockton.
Well, then why didn't he get to go on the team?
Well, you know, Shannon, number one, that is an amazing question because I'm so glad I get a chance to straighten this out.
Yes, please straighten it out.
Number one, they never asked me about Isiah Thomas.
Okay.
And I can't speak for the other guys, but they never asked me personally about Isiah Thomas. And Isiah Thomas probably should have been on the team. And they asked Michael Jordan, did he have anything to do with it? And then it actually just came out in the last year where he said, "I'll play as long as Isiah don't play." So,
and then you got to have him. If you're going overseas, you got to take the biggest guy.
So I don't know this personally, but I think it was Jack McCallum who said he had it on tape and he played it. Because I've been asked that question 1,000 times. Dude, they never asked me about Isiah Thomas. But apparently Michael didn't want him on the team.
Well, he wasn't going to be on the team.
Yeah.
Whoever Michael didn't want on the team wasn't going to be on the team.
We're not going to be on the team.
Now, there has been speculation that your icy relationship with Isiah Thomas is the reason that he was not selected. Well, what is your reaction to that?
That was one of the stipulations put to me prior to me even committing, that Isiah wasn't a part of the team. I was getting strong innuendos that it wasn't just, you know, it was coming from higher places that didn't want Isiah Thomas on the team.
That was so
It was wrong that Shaq and I wasn't on the dream team. It was just wrong.
forward.
Does Scottie Pippen have pictures of you or something? What's the deal with Scottie?
Wait a minute. Wait. Ho.
Something's going on.
I'm messing going on.
Did he want him on the team?
Well, I can't speak for Michael, but no, I did not want him on the team.
I don't mind Michael Jordan saying I didn't want Isiah to be on the dream team. I don't mind, you know, if Larry Bird said I don't want Isiah to be on the dream team. But if Scottie Pippen say I don't want Isiah to be on the dream team,
that's a problem.
Man, come on. You can't say nothing.
Okay, I got a new topic for the open court.
If Jordan is like, look, I'm not playing. If Isiah plays, okay, all right. Scottie Pippen, I'm not playing. If Isiah plays, man, go to the park.
Do me a favor. 3D, I need you to get up for a second. Get up for a second, if you would, 3D.
Okay.
And Isiah, lay down on the couch. How long have you been harboring?
Oh, man.
Are you feeling better now that it's come out, Isiah?
Well, you know, Ernie, it's been a while. It's been on my mind, for about, 25 years right now.
Does it feel like a weight is being lifted off of you?
Well, yeah, because I finally get to talk about it and just, the whole dream team experience. And again, I got no problems with, the greatest player to ever play say he don't want to play with me, or Magic saying he don't. But anybody below them talking about they don't want to play with me? Anybody?
Excuse me, Mr. Thomas.
And I say below them?
Mr. Thomas,
yes.
Your hour is up. I'm sorry.
If you're anything like Isiah Thomas, then stuff from your past probably makes you lose sleep at night. Which is why today's video is brought to you by Bear Mattress. Thanks to Bear Mattress for sponsoring. Head to bearmattress.com and use my code ARNETT to get 40% off your mattress. As much of a cliche as it might be, my wife and I made a New Year's resolution to be in better shape so we can keep up with our energetic toddler. But in order to do that, getting a good night's rest is imperative for recovery. Enter Bear Mattress. We got the firm King Elite Hybrid Pro, and when I say that this mattress is leaps and bounds better than our old one, I'm not exaggerating. We've used it for several months now, and our sleep has improved dramatically. Between Bear's sleep recovery technology that helps us stay cool, the support it offers, and the knowledge that this mattress wasn't made with fiberglass or any harmful products, we've woken up feeling rejuvenated and fresh. Not only that, but it's catered to our sleep preferences. But even if we hadn't loved it, Bear Mattress offers a limited lifetime warranty, and they offer a 120-night sleep trial, so you can get more than 3 months to make sure you love it. Bear Mattress offers an online sleep quiz that helps you find the perfect fit for you, and then ships it out for free right to your door. It arrives in a rolled-up box that makes it easy to transfer to your bedroom and unpack. I love my Bear Mattress, and I think you would too. If you're looking to get the best sleep for your active lifestyle, head to bearmattress.com/Arnett and use code Arnett to get 40% off your Bear Mattress. This is higher than what is being offered on site, so check them out while you can. After you check out, you can support my channel by telling them that I sent you in their post-purchase survey. This video is kind of a personal topic for me because the first ever video I made that blew up on my channel was this one, called How and Why Michael Jordan Banned Isiah Thomas from the Dream Team. Although it exploded and got over 1 million views, the comments section was very divided, as some people agreed that it was Michael Jordan's doing, while others claimed that it was a more collective decision. What's crazy is that you guys can tell from the intro of this video that even the players are divided on who is specifically to blame. Whether it was Michael Jordan's fault, the team's fault, or the Olympic Committee's fault, Isiah Thomas was kept off the team in large part because of the controversial character that he was. Isiah was the leader of the Bad Boy Detroit Pistons, which was a group who was famous for their gritty and aggressive style of basketball that was often shamed and condemned by other teams within the league. Sure, the game of basketball was physically punishing in the 1990s, but if the league was at a 10 out of 10 on the physicality scale, then the Pistons specifically were at a 15. Then there was the famous incident where Isiah Thomas didn't shake hands with the Bulls after his team had been eliminated out of the playoffs. So to put it plainly, Isiah was not the most popular or liked guy within the league at that time. So naturally, someone kept him off the team. But today, we're looking at it from a different and more unique angle than what's usually discussed. Did Isiah Thomas actually deserve to be on the Dream Team? Based on the team's needs and based on his talent at that point in his career, did he deserve a spot on that squad? I think the answer is a bit more complicated than some of you realize. Now, people often make the assumption that Isiah would have been on the squad instead of the backup point guard for Team USA, John Stockton. And although they share the same position on the court, I do think that's an inaccurate assumption. At that point in time, there was no question that Stockton was the better player. Sure, Isiah arguably had the better peak, but by 1992, his game had taken a few steps back, as he was reaching the twilight of his career. Isiah was an all-star, but by his prior standards, he had relatively modest averages of 18.5 points, 7.2 assists, and 1.5 steals, while hitting 45% of his shots. His Pistons also had 48 wins, which was the worst record they had had in the previous 6 seasons. On the other hand, John Stockton averaged 16 points while being the league's leader in both assists and steals, with some truly monstrous numbers, and he was also way more efficient from the field, the three-point line, and from the free throw line. Unlike Isiah, Stockton played all 82 games, was an NBA All-Defender, and even received MVP consideration. So unless you're looking purely at their legacies, there's no way Isiah was more deserving of a spot than John Stockton. But there's other things to consider, and other ways Isiah could have got a spot. Let's start by looking at the team overall. At the point guard spot, you had Magic Johnson and John Stockton. At shooting guard, there was Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler. At small forward, there was Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, and Chris Mullin. At power forward, there was Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, and Christian Laettner. And at center, there was David Robinson and Patrick Ewing. So now let's do some process of elimination by going over the untouchables. First off, obviously, Michael Jordan. He's the GOAT, and he was the Olympic Committee's #1 priority to get on that roster. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were the legacy acquisitions. They're legends, and them playing together for one final ride was a big story of emphasis for these Olympics. So regardless of their health and physical condition, they're not being replaced. The team needed a starting anchor in the paint and a backup at the center position as well, so both David Robinson and Patrick Ewing are untouchables for this team. Similarly, Michael Jordan needed a backup at the shooting guard position, and Clyde Drexler was coming off of a season where he averaged 25 points per game, finished second in the MVP voting only behind MJ, and led his Blazers to the NBA Finals, where Jordan and the Bulls knocked him out. For all of those reasons, Drexler is also untouchable. The power forward position also needed a starter and a backup, and Charles Barkley and Karl Malone were two of the best players in the entire league at that time, so without question, both of them were untouchable. Then you have the third power forward in Christian Laettner, and believe it or not, his spot was also safe, because he was the only collegiate athlete on the roster, and the Olympic Committee did that as a way of honoring the old system, where only collegiate athletes were allowed to represent Team USA in the Olympics. So despite the fact that he was clearly the worst player on that team, he was definitely untouchable. This only leaves just two players, Scottie Pippen and Chris Mullin, who both happen to play at the small forward position. The small forward spot is also the only position other than power forward that ran 3 players deep, meaning it would be easy to trim down this position without having to hurt the team's depth. Yes, the power forward spot also ran 3 deep, but again, all of those guys were very untouchable. So it's only natural that we look at replacing one of the small forwards with another point guard in Isiah. So now we have to ask, who was more deserving of keeping their spot, Scottie Pippen or Chris Mullin? Well, on the Chicago Bulls, Scottie Pippen was a number 2, while Chris Mullin was a number 1 for Golden State. If you look at their numbers side by side, the comparison is pretty tough, as Mullin was a premier scorer, while Pippen was a more well-rounded producer. Mullin did finish 6th overall in the MVP voting in 1992, while Pippen finished 9th. With all this being said, I think the committee would have gone for Scottie Pippen. He was coming off of his 2nd straight championship, and his on-court chemistry with their number 1 option, Michael Jordan, was undeniable. Plus, the Dream Team had plenty of lethal scoring options on the roster. So even though Mullin was a much better scorer, Pippen's gifts were probably more desirable for the team, since he was arguably the best wing defender in the league at that time, only rivaled by Michael Jordan. So after much contemplation, I think Scottie's spot is the one that's safe. Which means that if the committee had selected Isiah Thomas to be on the roster, he would have most likely replaced Chris Mullin. Which I know sounds awful in hindsight, because Mullin did end up being the team's 4th leading scorer and was by far their most crucial 3-point shooter, as he was 2nd on the team in attempts while hitting an absurd 54% of his 3-point shots. One can argue that Isiah's legacy and legend status warranted a spot on this roster, especially when you consider that Magic Johnson and Larry Bird made it onto the team even though one was limited by back problems, while the other wasn't even technically in the NBA anymore. So in that sense, you could say he deserved a spot ahead of Chris Mullin. But from a pure talent and production-based standpoint, there's no way Isiah was deserving of one of the 11 NBA spots. Chris Mullin was clearly the better and more productive player over the course of the 1991 to 1992 season. Beyond that, you could argue that Isiah Thomas wasn't even the best point guard to not make the team. That's because in Golden State, a young star by the name of Tim Hardaway was at his very peak, as he helped lead his Warriors to a 55-win season while averaging 23 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals, while being far more efficient than Isiah Thomas in every shooting metric, and while finishing 8th overall in the MVP voting. For goodness sake, even point guards like Mark Price and Kevin Johnson warranted some consideration as well, given how their numbers and team records were actually better than Isiah's. So yeah, from a legacy standpoint, you can make the argument that he deserved to be there. But from a talent and pure basketball perspective, there's just no way that Isiah Thomas in 1992 was one of the 11 most deserving players in the NBA. And with all of that being considered, it's debatable whether or not him being banned from the roster was even necessary in the first place.